Hey everyone, Matt here again from Anchor Down Gaming, here to cover a little bit of Nintendo news regarding 39 titles that Nintendo filed trademarks for, again, just recently in the last couple days. And also Reggie Fils-Aimé. I guess a little while back, he made sure that Nintendo never changed their logo. They actually did want to change it, and he put a stop to that. So we're going to cover both of these interesting stories while we wait very patiently for the next Nintendo Direct. So let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to start out with how Nintendo was apparently at one time trying to change their logo, or I guess modern it up a bit and make it a little more appealing to adults, and Reggie put a stop to that back when he was working for the company. So this right here is from a recent interview with the Present Value podcast. Reggie recalls what Nintendo was trying to do to combat some of that negativity. The company was playing with their classic logo in a way that tried to show Nintendo as a more adult-friendly, edgy company, and Reggie saw that as a step in the wrong direction. So yeah, that was directly from Go Nintendo, what they had to say. I give them credit for that, but here is what Reggie had to say, again, from Go Nintendo. From a branding standpoint, we had to be clear in what Nintendo as a brand stood for, as well as what the individual franchises stood for. I'll give you an example. When I joined Nintendo, there was a sense of almost shame that Nintendo appealed to young consumers, and the marketing team at Nintendo of America started doing things with the logo. That classic Nintendo logo in an oval. They would put it into graffiti style, or they do different things to try and age up the logo, and I put a stop to that because that is not our brand. And what we needed to do was, yes, appeal to a broad switch of consumers, but we needed to do it based on what the brand stood for and not doing it in some false way. Systematically, we went through and cleaned up the presentation of the brand, but we also created messaging coupled with content that really broadened the reach, broadened the appeal, and set the stage for all of the great products we would launch, like Wii Fit, and eventually the Nintendo Switch. So this took place back in the GameCube era, from what I can understand here. Nintendo was wanting to modern the logo a bit, and Reggie was just like, no, we're keeping the Nintendo logo how it is. It's great just as is, and it appeals to everyone just how it is right now. So this was a little bit of an interesting story. Reggie, he's not with Nintendo anymore, of course, but he is definitely a legend in the video game industry. So this was an interesting story to cover. Alright, so the next story here, and this is also from Go Nintendo, so thank you for that source. Nintendo has gone on a trademark tear, and they've just done 39 different games. I'll have a list of the games here in a minute. So this could be taken a few different ways. Trademarks happen all the time. They have to, keep their rights to the game and keep it with them and all that, and the names. So it could just be coincidence that there's this many good titles. Maybe it's the turn of the new decade. Maybe that's why there's so many good titles listed here. But I'll tell you, if they brought back some of these franchises, it would just make my world. So let's get into it and let's talk about what's going on. So we have, Freaky Forms, Kirby's Adventure, Kirby Air Ride, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Kid Icarus, Jam with the Band, never heard of that, Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, The Last Ranger, Face Rangers, Eternal Darkness, Majora's Mask, Animal Crossing, City Folk, Alleyway, WarioWare, Smooth Moves, Wave Race, Mario Sports, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Miniland Mayhem, The Wind Waker, The Adventure of Link, Super Mario World, Super Mario Sunshine, Skyward Sword, Kirby's Mass Attack, Radar Mission, Phantom Hourglass, Ocarina of Time, Nintendogs plus Cats, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and yeah. So this is quite a bit of titles here. Like usually they don't announce this many trademarks at once. Usually they just do a few at a time, and that still generates a little bit of buzz. But there's just a few key titles on here that would stand out to me. Like if I could get some of these titles and have them be either remade or remastered or just brought back in some fashion, I definitely would like to see an HD remaster of Skyward Sword done on Switch. I don't care if it has, traditional controller controls. I would be fine if you just use the Joy-Cons with the motion control, since that's how that game was designed. Super Mario Sunshine, that would be an all-time favorite if that came back. I would love to see Mario Sunshine. It's my second favorite Super Mario game next to Odyssey. Majora's Mask, of course, I could go for a remake or a remaster of Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time any day of the week. Kirby Air Ride, that stands out to me on here too. I remember playing it on the GameCube when I was a kid, and it was pretty fun, and it was a racing game and whatnot, and it even had like a decent little hub world that you could fly around in, or maybe a few hub worlds for that matter. I can't really remember, but I do remember the hub world aspect being a part of it. If they could bring that back and make a racing game, I feel like that could really put Kirby on the map again, because Kirby Air Ride is just one of them titles that lingers in people's memories from the GameCube era. And if they took it back and did what they could do with it on the Switch and made like a really good just all-star racing Kirby game, that would be totally awesome. And Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards, what else can I say? My favorite Kirby game ever made. Nothing has been better than the Crystal Shards for me. And finally, the last one on here that really stands out to me is Kid Icarus. A franchise that I haven't really played very much of, but I like Pit as a character. I like the concept of the world that it makes and whatnot, and if they could bring that onto the Switch and, give it a really, really good treatment, maybe redo the formula of what makes Kid Icarus, and, keep all the lore all the same and everything, but maybe introduce some new gameplay elements, that could have some really, really big potential too. I just picture like a big open world in the sky, and you fly around as the characters and whatnot, and yeah, that would be probably a dream come true on Switch if they could do that. So, but anywho, guys, that's all I really wanted to cover. I just wanted to get this out because we're all eager for a Direct. We all want a Nintendo Direct just so bad. January and February, the beginning of the New Year's, are always horrible for us waiting. We're all very impatient, and rumors are just going crazy of what the year is going to bring. And right now, Nintendo doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff on their plate confirmed. Like, they do have a lot of games if you get down to the nitty and gritty, but the big standout titles for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people so far, are just Animal Crossing New Horizons, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, No More Heroes 3, and that's it. That's confirmed. Potentially, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Hopefully we're getting that this year. It seems like we might, but that's really it. So just wanted to touch base on this and get this story out of the way while we're waiting for the Directs to happen. Anyone who is subscribing to the channel, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I really want to reach 100 subscribers. That way I can get a custom URL for the YouTube channel. Anyone following me on Twitter at AnchorDown902, thank you very much. Anyone following me on Instagram at AnchorDownGaming, thank you very much as well. Your support is extremely appreciated. The channel is going to go in a big direction here soon. I got a lot of big stuff planned. It was a little slack this week, but same as last week, I didn't promise anyone dailies. I promised weekly videos. So anyone who can, hit that subscribe button that's been in the bottom corner of the video. Show your support, subscribe to the channel, and stay up to date with content. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Any advice you got from me too, I always appreciate everything. I'm always looking for everyone's input. And aside from that, that's all I got for tonight. Look forward to a new video, and everybody, have a good night.